Yeah. So I'm Holly Beeden. I am the clinical lead from the Living Well Consortium. And it's a bit scary presenting to people that work in schools because my grammar isn't great. So if you see any spelling mistakes in this PowerPoint, please close your eyes. So the Living Well Consortium, we're Birmingham based, but we do also work in Solihull. And as a consortium, we're made up of several providers and members that deliver work all over Birmingham in different kind of capacities. So our members do work out in the community and it's mainly wellbeing services. And then our providers deliver either NHS talking therapies, which used to be called IAPT, or our youth counselling service, which I'll talk about a bit more in a sec. So our biggest kind of piece of work is NHS talking therapies. So we are not an NHS setting. We are a charity, but we're commissioned by the NHS to deliver NHS talking therapies. So in Birmingham, there's Living Well and there's Birmingham Healthy Minds, and we're about 50-50 with our split of delivery. NHS talking therapies for anyone over 16 plus, but I'm not going to go into it too much today because I'll be focusing on the youth counselling contract that we've got. So we have a youth counselling pathway, which is for anyone over the age of 11. We do also have social prescribing at our grounded hubs. So we've got a hub in Selly Oak and one in the Jewellery Quarter, and then also one in Hall Green, where we offer all sorts of different kind of wellbeing activities. So there's yoga and knit and natter and crafting sessions that are all free to access. We do also deliver therapy from those bases, but they're mainly to go in, have a coffee and do social prescribing. And we have lots of different community projects as well, which I'll touch on in a second. So our youth counselling delivery, so we deliver youth counselling all over Birmingham. So we have a base in Nechells with one of our providers called Our Roots. We have another one in Edgbaston with Way Through, which share a building with Aquarius, a drug and alcohol charity. And then also the Women's Consortium, which are based just off Broad Street. And then our grounded hubs, which are in the Jewellery Quarter and Selly Oak as well. So we offer low level support. So it's 6 to 8 sessions. It could be counselling. It could be solution focused therapy. It could be DBT skills, which is emotion regulation sessions. Low intensity CBT. So CBT is cognitive behavioural therapy. Anger management sessions. We have Silver Cloud, which is for age 14 plus, which is an online cognitive behavioural therapy platform. And then we've just got an art therapist in who does 1 day a week with us at the moment, who's just started. So that's fairly new. We do one-to-ones, but we also run a lot of different groups. So we've got an autism confidence course, which is available for young people that have a diagnosis or they're awaiting diagnosis or maybe suspected. That's going through what autism actually is, how it can affect you and how to look after your mental health, because we're finding a lot of people are getting diagnosis but then don't really know what to do with that diagnosis and don't really understand it. We've got the Balance and Resilience course, which is based on DBT skills. So DBT looks at kind of mindfulness, regulation, stabilization. So it's more for those kids that might have difficulties managing their mood, might have outbursts, might be self-harming as well, and are quite dysregulated. We have a Managing Low Mood and Self-Harm course, because we do find a lot of the young people we work with are self-harming in some way. Anger management course, which is self-explanatory, mindfulness course, and we've just started a managing anxiety parent and teen course as well, because we do have a lot of young people that don't want to attend group sessions without their parent or carer being with them. So we've kind of done a bit of a mix. So it's psychoeducation for the parent on how to manage their teen, but also psychoeducation for the teens that can manage their mood. We're just in the process of building a trauma skills group, and all about ADHD group, which will be similar to the autism confidence. So it's about what ADHD is and how to look after your mental well-being, and then coping with OCD group as well. It's coming out. So the community projects that I mentioned earlier, again, they're delivered in various locations in Birmingham. We got the funding for this through, I think it was the National Lottery. So we've got a couple of different things going on at the moment. We've got the National Lottery Community Fund, and we've been delivering physical health sessions as well as wellbeing sessions for anyone aged 5 to 17. So this isn't therapy. It can be one-off workshops that we do kind of every week. It might be on hormones and periods, how to cope with exam stress, how to cope with bullying, sleep hygiene kind of workshops. So we run those every week in different locations. And there's also sport, yoga, mindfulness sessions as well available for the young people. The information is all on the website with the locations. We do have two large hotels that we work with that house women and children. So we do a lot of work within those hotels, but we don't advertise those because they're just for the people that are living in the hotels at the moment. And the other two locations, I think, is Borsal Heath and Erdington. But the information for those is on the website. I don't run those, so I don't know a vast amount of information about them. So in the term times, we have the workshops that are out and about. So they're on Reservoir Road and then Ladypool Road. So they run every week on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Young people can just book onto that. It is free to access, and that's mainly during the term times. In the school holidays, we take over the grounded hubs. So like I said, we've got one wellbeing cafe in Selly Oak, and the other one is in the Jewellery Quarter. We do have one in Hall Green, but it's a very small hub and it's not a cafe space. So we have a kind of really small social prescribing output there. So Selly Oak is our community cafe. It's right by the University of Birmingham. Although our big focus was on students for this, we get all kinds of people coming in. So we get a lot of young people coming in, and we have different workshops that we run over the school holidays there. And they can also have the therapy sessions there. And we run social prescribing for adults as well. And on the evening, Birmingham Mind take over and they do their talking spaces, which used to be called the crisis cafes. Sorry. We work with the Aston Villa Foundation as well. So we match fund a therapist there. He goes out to some schools, so you might already be aware of Sean, who might be in one of your schools already. But if not, and you have young people that are into football, but they're not really wanting to talk about the mental health, or you're not really sure what to do with them, using football as a pull can be really, really useful. We found it really effective for breaking down barriers, not just for young lads, which is usually associated with, but we get a lot of young girls as well. Who support the women's teams as well as the main Villa team. Sometimes they give out free tickets and freebies like hats and things as well when they're in therapy, which is always a bonus. Sean is a qualified children's counsellor, and he's been employed as a wellbeing mentor. So he does go out into the community, into schools, and deliver sessions in the schools. But he does also deliver sessions within the sensory boxes at Aston Villa as well, which again is a really good kind of pull-in for some people who aren't willing to talk. So we have our match funding with Aston Villa Foundation. Our exclusion criteria, so anyone that is currently actively suicidal or might have had an attempt within the past 28 days. Anyone that's a high risk to themselves or to others. So I know there are a lot of young people at the moment that we're coming across who have conduct disorders and who are quite tricky to manage in class. With those young people, it wouldn't necessarily mean that we automatically exclude them. We would have to assess first, and it might be that we see them on video calls only or telephone calls rather than having in-person sessions. But if they are a constant risk to other people, then they probably wouldn't be for us. If people are in secondary care, so if they're under any of the core hubs within Birmingham, or if they're under Solar and they're already seeing a psychologist, then they wouldn't be for us. Hard to engage people. What I mean by this is people who, so not young people that are really quiet in sessions and don't really talk much. It's more those that just don't engage in services when they're offered to them on a regular basis. We don't work with psychosis. We're not medically trained. We can't prescribe medication, and we can't work with personality disorders. It is more for kind of low mood, self-esteem, anxiety-based disorders. Um, as I said, we don't medication manage. If there's drug and alcohol issues, we can work alongside Aquarius, but we would want that to be managed first before we started therapy sessions with the young person. Um, and then those that have moderate to severe impairment of cognitive function. So as long as the client can actively engage in the sessions, then they're for us. But if there's kind of severe learning difficulties or delay, that might not be quite right for us, and there might be other services that would signpost them to instead. So in terms of referrals, these slides will be sent out afterwards, and I'm hoping that hyperlink does work. If you click on that, it will take you to a referrals form. You can fill in, with the consent of a young person or the parent, you can fill in the form and send that off to us. Or if you want the parent or young person to refer themselves in, they can scan the QR code. The form will come up. It is best that they do it with a parent or maybe yourselves, because there's a fair bit of information they have to go through, because it does do a bit of a risk assessment. They'll go through the risk assessment, and then we'll get in touch with them very quickly. It's usually within a week or two. And they can also book on for the upcoming workshops that will be happening over the half term. So we've got workshops that will be happening in Selly Oak, which is at our grounded hub, and they can do walk-in referrals at the Jewellery Quarter as well. So there is a poster for those workshops that I think I've sent out, which I'll ask if they can be circulated with the slides. Again, it's got the QR code on, so they can just sign up and join. This is for feedback for you, isn't it, Lydia?
Yes, this is our QR code for our evaluation form. Brilliant. So I don't know if there's anything else, Holly, you want to touch on before we go to some questions.
No, I'm aware that I've rambled a lot and I've talked
Oh
quite
no,
quickly.
not at all. Don't worry, that's totally fine. Thank you so much for sort of talking through Living Well Consortium and the different offers. I think it's not always easy to find out what's going on and what support is out there. So I think it was really helpful to sort of talk through about some of the different work that you're